I'm not somebody who likes to complain a lot, but spending Spencer Knight out there on the ice when he hasn't played in 2 weeks against Boston, come on, it's almost like you're sending him out to like a sacrificial lamb. It's not very nice. It's kind of mean and stupid, and I bet you it's not going to go very well.
You ready? Here we go. He did it. I don't believe it.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, Panther fans, how we doing? So we got Boston tonight at Boston. Big, huge challenge. No Barkov, day to day. Lundell is improving, getting closer. Gudis is out. The big news is Colin White draws back into the lineup. We traded for a minor league type right winger, Giovanni Smith from the Wings. Sent Delzato to him, and then they flipped him to Anaheim. He's in the AHL right now. Could possibly be looking at maybe somebody who plays a rougher, tougher type of style, maybe to plug in if Hornquist isn't going to come back. Don't know. But Spencer Knight draws back in, and you know me, I have to bitch about everything, so I'm just gonna bitch that Spencer Knight was playing his ass off, gets sick, he's gonna be rusty his first game back, it's inevitable, right? For the most part, and we throw him out there against the best team in the league on the road, again with no Barkov and no Lundell. And I know people tell me he's from Connecticut, he played for. I get it. He wants to go out there. I hope he picks up where he left off, right? Just give me 2 points. That's what we need out of this. This is when Bill Zito said that there was going to be challenges and they wanted to have a veteran coach to help guide the team through the challenges. He wasn't kidding about the challenges. But, the more I've thought about it, because those of us who were okay with getting rid of Bruno was because we wanted to take the next step. We said he didn't do well in the playoffs. We wanted somebody who could. But the more that this has gone on, and I'm realizing Zito knew this was going to be not a throwaway year, but a year with a lot of challenges, right? Which we couldn't have anticipated the injuries, but he knew we were going to be in cap hell, and if something happened injury-wise, we wouldn't be able to fix it. Why? The further I get away from the two big things over the summer, the more I like the Tkachuk trade, and the more I look at getting rid of Bruno, and I'm like, well, why? Why? If Zito knew there was going to be all these challenges, and it was probably likely not to be a cup year, now he didn't say that, but you could read between the lines, if he knew that, why the hell get rid of Bruno? I mean, think about it. You're talking about getting at a veteran coach because the team was going to be challenged. What could possibly have been more challenging than losing Q? 8 games in last season? He guided us through challenges just fine. So, and I know I was on board with. I'm just giving an updated opinion on it. It makes less and less sense the longer this season goes on. And the more you hear what the Panthers administration was expecting out of this year, it makes less and less sense that we got rid of Bruno. But that's Panthers. Give me 2. So it's 3-0 Boston after 1. When I commented on Twitter that I did not feel it was the right move to put Spencer Knight out there tonight, somebody replied that he asked for this. Now, I suppose that's possible. I didn't see that. I'm not saying they were wrong. I would just like to say that I don't care if he asked for this. The coach should have said, yeah, maybe this isn't the night to do it. You play, if you were desperate to get him into a game, you play him at home against New Jersey. You don't throw him out there on the last game, I mean, I know it's a short trip, but you don't throw them out there against Boston on the road with no Barkov, no Lundell. You see what we've got here, and the first goal really wasn't his fault. The second goal, you'd like to see it stopped, but the third one, he's got to make that save. And we're being outworked every puck. Mahura got blown by. Now, Mahura's been solid, so he's going to get a pass on that first goal, okay? He got beat. It's going to happen. But as soon as Boston made it 1-0, we stopped skating. And they're just all over us. It's ugly. And we're going to win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. And the depressing part about that is if we could just win 2, lose 1, we'd actually make the playoffs. But we're not capable of even doing that. Well, it's not a boring game. 5-3 Boston after 2. They get up to 4-0, and then boom. The Panthers get 3 goals in 5.5 minutes. Reinhardt started it off. And even Eric Stahl got himself a goal. Ullmark is giving up some big, fat, juicy rebounds, and nobody's in front of the net to put them away. It's really, we've almost had 3 more goals. Meanwhile, Ekblad got beat. I'm not saying that for 3 different goals, but on the 5th goal, he got beat twice. And the puck's in the back of the net. This is one of those games where it's the defense is having a bad game, and Spencer Knight's not having a good night either. You know what I mean? It's just a bad combination. However, we have an opportunity to, can we get a point? Can we get a point out of this? If we can pull that off, I'll be happy. Otherwise, you start looking at the rest of the schedule, man, and how are we going to get Spencer Knight back in the right groove? Right now, it's a mess, but it could improve. So, you might ask me, just how bad was it, Jaws? 7-3, the Panthers lose. Just how bad was it? We had 50 people, 40, 50 people on the stream. And with about 5-6 minutes left, they all started genuinely being like, hey, dude, just switch to the Monday Night Football game. So we did. We didn't. We didn't. He's doing it now. Okay. So I'm going to take the possibility that Spencer Knight went to the coaches and Maurice and said, I want to play in this game. I'm going to take that and put it over here on the shelf. Praga Waga had a really good point at the end of the stream. He said, why not, after missing that much time, considering the schedule and the timing, everything, why not send Spencer down, let him sharpen up? No, I don't know if... he's still technically on his entry-level contract, right? So he should be able to be sent down, sharpen up, come back. Now, this is not hindsight. I said this in the last review with Stu. I really kind of got to the point where I just let Bob play the last 3 games, right? Because he's got the Christmas break. And then when Spencer Knight came back, yeah, he might be rusty, but everybody might be a little bit rusty because everybody has Christmas break. Would have been better off. You don't throw him out there tonight against Boston, best team in the league, with no Barkov, no Lundell, no Hornquist, no Gudis. This was terrible. And I'm not saying it's all his fault, because in spots the defense just played like absolute ass. And plus Boston's a significantly better team than us. And it's getting tough to judge exactly what kind of dumpster fire cluster that this Panther team is because we've played well in spots. When we've had a whole roster, we've played well. It's a ridiculous ask to go out there and think we're going to beat the best team in the league on the road without many of our best players. Okay? It wasn't likely to happen. We had a good 5 minutes, though. Did have a good 5 minutes. The Tkachuk line was I wouldn't call it invisible. They couldn't get to the puck. Olmark left so many rebounds just sitting there, and nobody was there to collect the rebounds. Tkachuk did collect one of the rebounds and then just couldn't quite get the handle on the stick, and the defenseman showed up. And, I mean, Olmark played well, but was leaving some rebounds as well. Ekblad, by the start of the third period, Ekblad had played 18 minutes, and Kierstead had played about 3-4 minutes. This is a problem. That's a problem. That's and going back to what we've heard about Maurice, what we read about Maurice, this is what he does. He leans on the veterans. He overuses them. They're gassed, and the younger players who still play well, he doesn't play them. And there's no fixing this. George Richards just had an article out yesterday, day before that, whatever it was, about how Paul Maurice was saying, "Hey, it's going to get better. This is the part that I knew the challenges would be, and we're going to get better, and we're going to be good. And this is the part that I was looking forward to." I call bullshit. Okay, this is turning into a disaster. And I know that, okay, we're missing guys. The injury stuff has not been fantastic. I understand that. This is the second year in a row where Lundell gets hurt, he can't quite come back. A little bit concerned about that. But the effort on the ice, there's no cohesion. Even when there is effort, like, you just looking on the ice, there's no lines. And I know we got guys that are hurt, but there's no chemistry anywhere. There's like barely even two guys at a time where you could say, okay, you could say Barkov belongs with Hagee. You could say Lundell belongs with Reinhardt. That's about it. There's no guaranteed plugins where, like, that's the line. These are the guys that should be playing together. Now, defensively, there is. But we have this guy, Ekblad, who's a problem because instead of Forsling, Montour, Mahura, Gudis, Stahl, Kierstead, I said what I said. Instead of that, we keep throwing Aaron Ekblad out there for 25 minutes a night like he's still a number one defenseman. And Maurice ain't going to stop. And if anybody asked him about Ekblad, he's going to completely cover for him, stick up for him. You know, we're asking him to do a lot of things, blah, 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 blah. We are screwed. We're screwed. Unless something completely abnormal, unless something completely unlike Paul Maurice in his entire career previous to this, unless something other than that happens, everybody that said we shouldn't have hired Bruno, or at least said that we shouldn't have hired this guy, was 100% correct. And I've said it. If I'm right, I'm going to lay it out. If I get it wrong, and look, two different things. Should we have kept Bruno? Debatable. Should we have hired this guy? Not debatable. Okay? You can still sit here and say, well, we should have hired somebody else. Maybe Bruno wasn't the guy. You can at least have that discussion. Whether or not we should have hired Maurice, this was a massive swing and a miss by Zito. And how long are we going to have to deal with this? Because this is what we're going to have. And if you look at his history, Maurice's coaching history, with a couple of rare exceptions, this is what you get. What you get. And every time I get somebody from Winnipeg or Carolina that's commenting or on the stream or whatever on Twitter, they all say the same thing. Say, sorry guys, he talks a good game, but what we're seeing on the ice, this brand of hockey, this is it. Whether or not Barkov, Lundell, and Gudis come back or not, we're seeing the same results on the ice for the most part. We're good, bad, win, lose, win, lose. And so, I said this on the stream, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if we're 7 9 points behind at the deadline. If we start selling people, Sam Bennett might go. Panthers might look at this roster and say Barkov, Lundell, Luosterainen, and say we can't afford Sam Bennett. Let's get some picks, clear up a little bit of cap space. Denisenko looks decent. He definitely looks like, that first game he played was a little bit of jitters. I would love to see Denisenko get a chance to develop. He's definitely worthy of getting some ice time to develop. But you only can do that if you get some veterans might go, right? Don't be surprised. That's the name. If I'm GM, that's the name I'm shopping right now. Because he's not winning face-offs, okay? And I think Lundell obviously is going to be better. And I think Luosterainen has an opportunity to be a bit of a more complete player. And with Barkov Lundell, you only need 3C. Bennett is too much money at 3C. And he's a tradable asset. You can get some assets back. So yes, I'm not blaming anything tonight on him. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward into the future for next season and who we have and money. And I think Sam Bennett is a expendable piece that could get us something nice in return. He's not the only one, but that's just the one I got for tonight. So we suck again. At least for tonight. I tell you, it's funny. 7th season, we were good the year before I started, and then it was bitching and complaining, and everybody loved to watch Durant's for years and years and years, and then of course we got good. And last year was so easy. Every night was 2 points. Yeah, I mean it was just freaking beautiful until the end, of course. But this, man, this is like going back to your ex-wife. That's the feeling. I've been trying to verbalize it. That's what this is like. This is like you got separated, you got divorced. Now I feel like I'm going back to the ex-wife with this team. Like, wait a minute. I thought I fixed this problem. Why do I want to do this again? It's tough. We had just gotten good. We had just gotten to where we expected to be good. And one off season, it has just dissolved away. Ain't no light at the end of the tunnel with this guy at coach. You make a couple changes. Trotz wants to come. You could look at next year and go, okay. Barkov, Lundell, Luosterainen. And put Ekblad in that category of skedaddle, money. All right, let's think about the picks and the money we could clear up with Bennett and Ekblad gone. We could replenish some of what we got. We could kind of reload doing that. We're not winning a cup with this version of Aaron Ekblad. If he's still hurt and decides to turn into whatever he used to be, maybe. But this guy, he's not a number one defenseman on a cup-winning team. Nobody in their right mind would even think that. It's laughable. But he would still gain some assets back. I'm just saying, it's almost that time to start thinking about next year. It really is. It really is. We can't win 2 in a row, let alone 3 in a row now. And I can't even be mad at this point. I can't even be mad. Am I completely giving up? No. But we know that this 2-week stretch is it. And we didn't have any room for error. And that was a big fat error on the ice tonight. Now if you go and get 2 in regulation against New Jersey, 2 in regulation against the Islanders, and you hit the break 2 points out, something like that, I'll bite. But you lose those 2 games. You lose to the Devils, lose to the Islanders, it's over. There's nothing forward at that point. You'll be 5, 7, maybe 9 points out. At Christmas, with this team, forget about it. And this coach, forget about it. We're close. We're close to that point. And everybody knows I'm the one that picked us to win the cup. So I'll be the last one to actually quit. But I got my good eyes on next year. My good eyes on next year. And to be honest, somebody said this in the stream, and I don't necessarily disagree. To be honest, I would kind of prefer this team to not make the playoffs, so that we got a chance that maybe ownership will do another overreaction and give Barry Trotz a call. Right? See what I'm saying? If we don't make it, and Trotz is available, maybe that trigger finger that Viola seems to have might work to our advantage this time. Don't know. And I can't believe I'm sitting here having this conversation with y'all, game 31, 32, 33, whatever the hell it is. I mean, but we're having it. We're at least having the preliminary hearing. We're at least having the preliminary hearing for it. Damn. Alright. Kyle and I are going to finish up Monday Night Football, because at least that looks like it'll be some fun. And we got a good crowd, so that's good. Stu and I will be back tomorrow morning. I don't know how much time. Well, I'm sure I'll have something out tomorrow afternoon. Then we're going to go look at the Christmas lights tomorrow night. Then Wednesday we're streaming. We will probably be streaming Thursday night football. We'll be streaming the Panthers game Friday night. Saturday there'll be football streams. Sunday, Merry Christmas, the Dolphins, Packers. So we're busy. We're going to keep pumping out content. It'd be nice if one of my teams would win a game. Not too much to ask. I need a Dolphins win for Christmas. I need a win. Somebody win a game. That's all I want for Christmas is 2 points or a win. Something. Anything. And the last thing is how are we going to get Spencer Knight back on track now? Dude was playing good. Maybe not fantastic, but good. Certainly better than Bob. Gets sick. And now what? We throw him out there in this mess. The kid's confidence is just going to... Right? Giant vomit on the ice. What do you do? We're going to send him back down to the minors like we did last year? I mean, if we can, I say do it. Bob should have been in that time. Now, I don't know how much difference it would have made, but it might have. It might have. All right. I don't even know what this is, but it's that's how the Panthers play. Not like this. See, this is how the conductor looks when they're playing. This is the conductor of the Panthers. That's what this is. This is the conductor of the Panthers. No points.